It wasn't enough that Project Veritas ousted their founder, James O'Keefe, but now they're actually suing him too. Hello, guys. My name is Isabella Moody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, I know I've posted a little bit before, but we are going to revamp this and be doing videos every single weekday. So, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and let's just get started. So, yesterday there was a lawsuit filed, and in this lawsuit, Project Veritas is arguing that James O'Keefe has no right to essentially start a company. He has no right to do the work that he's done, which has been undercover journalism. So they're not okay with him doing any undercover journalism. And the lawsuit is arguing that the work that James O'Keefe has been doing long before Project Veritas, during Project Veritas, and after Project Veritas is proprietary to Project Veritas, which, remember, that's the company that James founded. James O'Keefe has been doing undercover journalism, he says, for about 15 to 20 years, beginning in college. And Project Veritas, which, remember, was the company he founded, wasn't founded until 2010. So he was doing this undercover journalism years before the company Project Veritas was even founded. So it's pretty ridiculous that the lawsuit is claiming that it's proprietary work only for Project Veritas. It's undercover journalism, okay? And James O'Keefe was doing it long before Project Veritas was even founded. So tell me, Project Veritas snakes. How is undercover journalism proprietary to Project Veritas? If anything, it should be proprietary to James O'Keefe since he was doing it before Project Veritas was even founded. But of course, James is not a psychopath, so he would never claim that. And so James O'Keefe was on Timcast last night. I was thinking, was this planned? Was this what a good time to be on Timcast right when there's a lawsuit filed against you? I don't know the details, but I have a couple clips I want to show you guys. And on this one, James O'Keefe is kind of reacting to the lawsuit, so let's watch that.
That James, you in the lawsuit, you have no right to start a company. You have no right to do the work you've done. And this was the shocking thing to me. The work that you have historically done before Veritas, during Veritas, and now after, they say is proprietary to Project Veritas.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on in your words?
Ooh.
How's life?
How's life? That's a macro question. May I take a couple minutes to just say a few things?
Oh yeah, say whatever you want. Grab that microphone.
Monologue it maybe.
There you go.
Let me just tell you a story. How about that? And I'll end with the answer to your question. I've been doing this for about 15 years. I started in college, so I guess that's probably more like 20 years. But in a major way, 15 years. And along the way, I have been, there's been a lot of arrows sent my way and at my team, because when you're the tip of the spear, you just get a lot of flack, right? I think we all know that. And then maybe these days it's directly proportional to the amount of flack you get. But I mean, I have been, way back when I received a letter from Planned Parenthood threatening to jail me for working with Lila in California because of the statute 632 of the Penal Code. I did the Acorn story with Andrew Breitbart, Hannah Giles. They sued me for recording in Maryland. I had to raise money to pay lawyers. I was arrested by the FBI in January of 2010, falsely accused. They said I entered under false pretense, even though I showed my ID. I spent 3 years on federal probation. And it is while I was on federal probation that I founded Project Veritas in a garage with like no money, credit card debt, negative equity. It was against all odds. And while on federal probation, starting that company, I was sent criminal grand jury subpoenas by the state of New Hampshire in 2011, 2012 for exposés in New Hampshire. I was sued countless times for defamation, including one by Shirley Teeter. I won that in federal district court at jury verdict, and nobody reported on it. I mean, I could go on with the amount of flack and arrows that my colleagues and I have taken. There was one story where I was chased down the highway by a teachers union official in New Jersey, chased down the highway. So now they run away from me, but back then they followed me on Interstate 80 in New Jersey. Alyssa Ploshnik was her name. And all the defamation that almost makes you want to just say, I can't I can't do this anymore, particularly if you're sane and rational. And I could go on, you know, and I don't say these things to come across like I'm a victim. That's not what I'm getting at. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I say it because of the human aspects of it. It's different. It's different when you're taking on all these arrows. It hits differently when the arrows come from the people that are ostensibly supposed to be your allies. I've taken a lot of arrows. I never thought I'd be taking them in the back.
So there you can see James O'Keefe, kind of his reaction to what's going on, him being sued. And the thing about James, and I know James personally, he's a really great guy, great friend of mine. And the thing about James is his mission really is to simply expose the truth. And he does that via undercover journalism. Honestly, even though Project Veritas ousted James, he would never try to stop them from doing what they're doing because he's simply too busy continuing his mission. And he actually loves the doors that this has opened up to. If you guys, I'll link it down below, but I actually did interview James O'Keefe right after he was ousted. So I'll link that below if you guys want to see it. Maybe I'll have it up here somewhere on this video. But he felt that like he always wanted to do something like this, like what he's doing now, his new venture, O'Keefe Media Group, OMG. Definitely go check out the website. I'll have it linked below, which he's shipping cameras and teaching people across the country how to do undercover journalism. And he said he's always wanted to do something like this, but now this has actually pushed him to actually do it. So he finds this as a blessing, weeding out the snakes at Project Veritas, which is precisely what those people are. They are snakes. I know them too. It was shocking for me to find out that they would turn on James O'Keefe and oust him. I'm really happy though that James now he's surrounded by people truly invested in his mission. And something he had to learn the hard way was the truth about boards. So Project Veritas is a 501c3. So that means there's no clear owner of Project Veritas, but rather a board of directors. And on this board, they can outvote him, even though he's the CEO, even though he's the one that actually founded the company. And that's precisely what happened. So he is now no longer doing a 501c3. There's no board. He's the owner, which, good. God bless James O'Keefe. That's definitely what is necessary. The snakes at Project Veritas who ousted James O'Keefe, they want blood, and they're not going to stop until they have just that. But of course, I don't believe they'll ever get that. Good. I hope they stay miserable, and I hope they lose money in donations. And it's funny because they are just getting such an overwhelming amount of hate from the conservative community. And to me, it's like a red flag if I see anyone still supporting them. I don't care if they release a good story. The people there, if you can't trust them, you can't trust their work. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. Even me, a woman, can understand that. But let's go over exactly what the lawsuit is alleging. The lawsuit was filed against James O'Keefe in New York, alleging financial misdeeds, using funds for personal means, breaking his contract, and demanding that O'Keefe not be permitted to use his investigative tools he created, emphasis on he created, and implemented in Veritas in his new venture. So they don't want him using his methods of practice of undercover journalism anymore. They're saying it's proprietary to Project Veritas, even though Project Veritas didn't create those methods. James O'Keefe himself did, and they're simply trying to steal it away from him, steal away his ability to still do what he loves, exposing the truth via undercover journalism. So the lawsuit also insists that James O'Keefe was not fired, but just temporarily suspended while they were doing an investigation into the expenses such as black cars, private jets, etc. You know, they were so mad that he traveled with black cars. He apparently stole a sandwich out of a pregnant woman's hand. I hope that's true, because that's hilarious. But the claims and the original grievances against him when they originally ousted him were absurd, okay? They claim that he's in a breach of contract with them for setting up a new organization while he's still technically employed by Project Veritas. But keep in mind, Project Veritas stopped paying James O'Keefe, so what was he supposed to do? He was effectively fired by his own team. Here is more on James's reaction to the lawsuit.
Declare O'Keefe to have misappropriated plaintiff's trade secrets. That's big right there. Declare O'Keefe liable to indemnify plaintiff for the cost of defense and or liabilities arising from actions taken by him or his errors or omissions. issue a preliminary and permanent injunction enjoining O'Keefe and OMG from soliciting or contacting plaintiffs' donors, employees, or contractors, disparaging plaintiffs, obtaining, using, or disclosing plaintiffs' confidential information, and keeping and failing to return plaintiffs' property. Now, some of these things, look, I understand, like, you got to give the property back if you have any, whatever that may be about. But there's some things here that are the trade secrets. What you need to understand in this is, here, you can respond if you can or want to. The way I see it, you started, James, you started Project Veritas. You brought trade secrets. They then, it seems like an institutional capture with one of these guys on the board apparently having pronouns in his bio or something. All of a sudden, they're telling you, you're locked up, you're suspended, stop doing your work. So you go off and do your own thing. And then they say, nope, we own those. Everything that you built, we own. Every technique, all the methodology, those are ours and you can never use them again. That effectively says the methods of James O'Keefe can never be used by James O'Keefe again.
Right, and the money that was raised and that I raised, taking lots of black cars around to raise it, I don't know if you get the inside joke there, but they say there's black cars are inappropriate, was raised to expose corruption and now is being used in an effort to stifle my efforts to expose corruption.
I want to add to this.
So how does that work?
It doesn't work, but that's precisely what's happening. They're using the funds that James O'Keefe raised for Project Veritas to expose corruption, but now to stifle James O'Keefe's ability to continue exposing corruption via his new venture, O'Keefe Media Group. Something else I want to touch on is the Project Veritas executive director has actually resigned. His name is Daniel Strack, and here is a clip again of Timcast breaking this, and Tim explains what happened. So Tim got some, I don't know, inside info on this. So let me play this so you guys can see.
So we received a message from April Moss. She is a CBS Detroit whistleblower, a meteorologist, whose story became public in June of 2021. She says that she's obtained an exclusive copy of a resignation letter from Dan Strack of Project Veritas, and that she stands by James O'Keefe, currently working on the story. And there is some personal information, so I'm not going to show the email, but I do have it. It says, today I sent the following email to the board of directors and leadership. Project Veritas board of directors, please take this email as notification of my resignation as executive director of Project Veritas and Project Veritas Action. I am honored to have worked alongside some of the most dedicated and driven people I've ever met. I promise I gave it my all. I want you to know how much in the past 15 months have meant to me. To work with and for you all has been incredible. The past 4 months have been the biggest challenge I suspect most of us have ever faced, at least in our professional careers. It is important to me that you know I tried my best. I know you did as well. I am sorry if I let you down. Why now? It's complicated. The truth is that I no longer know how to help. I will never forget any of you. You are amazing. The world needs you. Take care of each other. If I can ever be helpful to you at all, please reach out. I hope our paths cross again. And that's Dan Strack. So you know him, obviously.
Yes, he worked for Goldman Sachs, and he was the executive director that I hired in 2022.
2022. So I don't know. Do you know anything about it? He's resigning. I mean, is this related to the lawsuit?
That's news to me. And
yeah.
You tell me what you think. I mean,
I don't know if this. So we're receiving it from another reporter and whistleblower.
Well, April was a whistleblower for CBS News. She was a whistleblower like 2 years ago. She was a meteorologist, and she went live on the air and said she's going to expose her own network. So she's gone on to do other reporting.
We've not received confirmation from Project Veritas that he has resigned. So other than that, I don't know if you can say it's confirmed or whether or not we know for sure that he's actually resigned, but it seems plausible at the very least. I try to be a bit more careful on these things.
Right.
I'd rather have a statement from Project Veritas confirming, yes, he did resign. Right.
It was, so I'd have to see what April, is there a picture or something, or?
There's a screenshot of the resignation email. Looks like from someone's very dirty laptop. Yeah. And then she just says she has obtained an exclusive copy of resignation letter from Dan Strack.
Well, if that's true, then Dan's resigned. I mean, the number 2 guy at PV is out. I don't know when, but
I don't know when either.
It's interesting timing. It's interesting timing.
I think it may be related to the lawsuit.
I mean, the role of a board at a nonprofit is to hire and fire the CEO, which is what a board should do. What a board should not do is run the company. You can't lead by committee. It doesn't work. So that's very interesting timing, and there's obviously more to the story there.
I think his resignation is probably related to the lawsuit. And I have to imagine it. Look, if you work for Veritas, especially as Veritas is suing James O'Keefe, I mean, your career is going to get nuked. Where are you going to go? Everyone in the media has lied about you and called you propaganda, fake news, and everything. So you're not going to CNN. Now, Veritas is attacking its founder, who is beloved by the community. So you're basically saying if you keep working there,
well, there needs to be a leader. Like people, there needs to be a person. Like, from my understanding of companies, is that again, if there's a board, they hire and fire the guy at the top. So the question is, who's in charge? You can't,
it's
a board doesn't run a company. A board appoints the person that runs the company.
There's nobody running it now.
But there has to be.
Yeah, there has to be. It's probably a snake like Matthew Tierman and just his little ringleaders along with him. But yeah, I think what Tim said was very important. It's like, where do you go? So not only is Project Veritas demonized by all like the mainstream press and Democrat media outlets, but now Project Veritas is directly attacking its founder, James O'Keefe, who is absolutely beloved in the conservative community. So it's career suicide, and honestly, he should have resigned when James O'Keefe was ousted if he didn't want to get lumped in with the snakes at Project Veritas, because in my eyes, everyone that stayed is a snake. An absolute snake. But all right, guys, that's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be posting new videos every single weekday here on YouTube, so subscribe so you don't miss any. Like this video, leave comments on what you want me to cover next or whatever you want. Just leave comments, help boost in the algorithm. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.